Hi, everyone. Our company is Beyond Meat. My name is Jacqueline.
I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Justice.
And I'm Sam.
To start things off, we're going to do a review of the company. Beyond Meat is a plant-based meat company whose goal is to replace animal-based protein products in order to better human health, decrease climate change, increase resource conservation, and improve animal welfare. Beyond Meat has products in the beef, pork, and poultry meat categories, selling both frozen and fresh options. Alongside being sold in retail stores, Beyond Meat is also present in many different food service partnerships, such as Dunkin' Brands, Carl's Jr., and KFC. A report from Barclays notes that this market is projected to reach approximately 140 billion over the next decade. So it's currently an exciting time for Beyond Meat.
Yeah, doing a quick internal analysis of the company, if we look at their financial reports, Beyond Meat kind of has a weaker financial position, and that is compared to the big food companies that they compete against, as Tyson and Hormel are examples of. So relative to their competition, they're not as strong. They also do not own a lot of the property, plant, and equipment that they use, so a lot less assets than these other companies I mentioned. They have lots of publicly traded stock. So that's a good thing. A lot of the public has a high value in the company. They have a very high quality R&D department. So working towards having a strong intellectual property. They have a strong distribution network with highly available product lines. If you go to their website, you can literally look up a location, and in Ames itself, Ames has 8. So that's kind of cool. So there's also some influential investors that back the brand. Bill Gates and Twitter and Kleiner Capital, which is a venture capital firm, all have funded large portions of it in the beginning. Looking at the VRIO framework, I think that Beyond Meat passes this pretty well. It is valuable to consumers. It does have a capability that very few businesses have to do. It is difficult and expensive to duplicate what they can do. And they do have a strong organizational leadership group backed by the CEO and all the people that work alongside of him.
Moving on to alliances, Beyond Meat has entered into many strategic alliances over the last 3 years. However, there are 3 alliances that are the most prominent for the company. KFC. This alliance is particularly special because the chicken blend that Beyond Meat provides for KFC is custom made. The chicken is sold as a boneless wing type product, not hidden within a chicken sandwich where any off flavors can be easily hidden by sauces, the bread, or vegetables. This product is actually still under testing, but it has raving reviews from tests so far. The fact that the product is unique to KFC makes this alliance unique compared to other alliances. Blue Apron. Beyond Meat also has an alliance with Blue Apron, a grocery delivery company that provides specific recipes and quantities of ingredients. Shares in both companies increased once this alliance was announced. On the day of the announcement, Blue Apron stock soared 53%, while Beyond Meat increased 2%. The addition of Beyond Meat to Blue Apron occurred before Blue Apron's competitor HelloFresh had added an alternative meat company to their collection. So this means that Beyond Meat and Blue Apron are in the lead regarding partnerships in this part of the market. Last but not least, Beyond Meat also has an alliance with Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' is the 4th most popular chain in the US, and in the quarter that Dunkin' and Beyond Meat partnered, Dunkin' reported larger than expected profits as a result of their alliance.
All right, to begin the SWOT analysis section of this report, we'll first take a look at Beyond Meat's core competency. To no surprise, Beyond Meat holds innovation very highly. After all, it is innovation that can produce a brand new market within the food industry in the first place. They've kept up with this practice by continuing to develop new plant-based meats. Now, taking a look at Beyond Meat's SWOT analysis, we'll first address their strengths and weaknesses. As for strengths, Beyond Meat has done an incredible job of establishing partnerships with reputable companies such as fast food chains like KFC, Subway, and Dunkin' Brands, and grocery stores like ShopRite and Target. Partnerships with restaurants made up 59% of Beyond Meat's revenue in the fourth quarter of the 2019 fiscal year. In addition to this, investor interest continues to be high as their market capitalization is currently about $4.07 billion. Continuing to weaknesses, despite growth in both net revenues and gross profits, the company reported a $500,000 net loss in the fourth quarter of the 2019 fiscal year. This continues to be an issue for them as the third quarter was their only profitable one. Growing production and development costs are likely the culprit of these poor margins and could cause investors to stray away in the future. Moving on to the external considerations of the SWOT analysis, Beyond Meat CFO Mark Nelson has been quoted for saying that Asia has a desperate need for their products. It's estimated that there's a $1 trillion meat market overseas. It could be a tremendous opportunity for the company. Beyond Meat's greatest threat is the presence of food industry giants like Nestle now being in the plant-based meat market. It'll be interesting to see how Beyond Meat can compete with the cash flow giant moving forward.
Looking at Beyond Meat's organizational design. So Beyond Meat's organizational structure begins with the CEO, the president, and the founder of the company, Ethan Brown. As I mentioned in our first presentation, Ethan is the man behind the vision for Beyond Meat. He directly oversees 6 other executive officers on the management team. Seth Goldman, who is the executive chair and chairman of the board, is Ethan's right-hand man. He has knowledge of entrepreneurial and sustainable business practices from his extensive work experience in the food and beverage industry. Then to the right of the diagram is Raymond J. Lane, who serves as the lead independent director. The board believes that having these 2 positions of chief executive officer and chairman of the board with a lead independent director is the perfect combination for their company. This organizational structure design allows Beyond Meat's leaders to balance their responsibilities, contribute through their previous experiences, and provide various perspectives on all strategic business decisions. Going on to some of the trends, the Power of Meat 2020 predicted there will be a rise in animal-based meats this year, as plant-based meats still only hold 1% of the meat industry. A cause of this problem is that plant-based options are more expensive than the classic animal-based foods. This is an external threat that Beyond Meat and its competitors have responded to. Impossible Foods made an announcement in March stating they will be reducing their prices by 15%. Ethan Brown of Beyond Meat told Forbes that he is on a mission to make plant-based meats the affordable choice. Currently, Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat have comparable price points. Beyond Meat needs to become the cost leader in the industry to combat this external trend of expensive prices associated with plant-based alternatives. The company's plan in 2019 was to focus their efforts on expanding internationally, and with everything going on during the pandemic, we believe that they should reconstruct their plan to gain competitive advantage with cost leadership. In conclusion, some recommendations that we feel Beyond Meat should consider are, as I mentioned, becoming a cost leader in the plant-based meat market. And then our next recommendation is expanding into the fish market because its competitors are already entering this market, as well as there is a large amount of mercury in seafood products, which can cause health risks. And lastly, with COVID-19, we believe that halting their efforts to globalize and focusing more on these 2 recommendations will allow them to remain profitable during this economic crisis. Thank you.